Hello everyone, welcome to Aviation Engineering YouTube channel. Lead air and pressurization panel is situated in the P5 panel. This panel helps control the air and pressure inside the airplane. Full power to operate. They can't work only on battery. This one cannot work only in battery or standby power. This one need the full power, right? So hello everyone, welcome to Aviation Engineering YouTube channel. After 2 months, I'm going to do another video for you regarding Boeing 777. Actually, I was faced for some accidents, so then I have to do the ACL surgery recently. So, like 1 month ago, so I have to stay in the bed and then, ACL surgery in the knee, ACL and meniscus. So I have to rest, so I don't have time to do the video. So sorry for this one. Okay, from today, I'm going to start again the lessons. So I stopped from the Boeing 777 type training series. All right. So if you wish these kind of videos valuable for you guys, just subscribe my channel, Aviation Engineering YouTube channel. And don't forget, Aviation is KV, it's not V, it's W, right? So just remember, it's like, I just make it now. I don't want to change. So aviation engineering. And I see now when I check my YouTube channel, so many people engage with my channel now. I see these kind of contents will be useful for you guys. So please comment below if it is useful or not. So I think it's useful for you guys. All right. Okay. So now we'll go to the lesson. And if you have any questions or anything, please comment below. And I want to tell you, please watch my previous videos also. It will be more valuable for you guys. All right. Okay. And also one more thing, I'm preparing the EASA module examination lesson. So just give me some time. I will prepare one by one. It's take time. All right. Okay. So let's go to the lesson. All right. Okay. So today I'm going to teach you Boeing 777 AT chapter 21. Before I teach chapter 0 to 20, the general introductions. And now AT chapter 21, air conditioning system. This is part 1. This one has so many parts. So this one is part 1. All right. So let's go to the content. Under air conditioning in general, I'm going to teach the introductions and control, general description, flight deck controls, controllers, and ECS, environmental control system, miscellaneous cards, introduction, and ECS miscellaneous cards, general description, and airflow, general description. And under cooling, I'm going to teach you introductions, general descriptions about control, and interfaces. All right. Okay. Let's go to discuss air conditioning general. Okay. All right, so this is the introductions. First one, the air conditioning system is an airplane helps. The air conditioning system in an airplane helps to keep the inside of the plane comfortable and safe for who? The pilots, the passengers, and also the equipment. All right, so it has several smaller systems that work together. Okay, so the air conditioning system made with several systems. All right, so it has several smaller systems that work together. What are they? First one is air distribution system. So it is move fresh air around the airplane. And equipment cooling. Okay, this is also very important. Okay, equipment cooling keeps the machines and electronics from getting too hot. Okay, so the next one, cabin pressurization. For pressurization also we are using air conditioning system. Make sure there's enough air pressure inside the plane even when it is flying high. Okay, and the heating, warm up the inside of the plane when it is too cold. Okay, in air conditioning system we do cooling and also heating both. Okay, and then the temperature controls keeps the temperature just right for everyone. All right. Okay, so this is the picture you can see. This is the air conditioning system. What are the things we do? Example, air conditioning system, they distribute the air and it's cooling the equipments, and the cabin, they do the cabin pressurization and the heating, cooling, and also temperature control. All right. Okay. Now, now the controls. We'll go to the control. You can see the air conditioning system in an airplane keeps the inside of the plane comfortable and safe. I told you before. It provides fresh air, keeps the right temperature, and makes sure there is enough air pressure for everyone to breathe normally, even when flying high in the sky. Right? If you fly in the high in the sky, some altitude, I mean 10,000, more than 10,000, you cannot breathe normal. Because why? When the altitude is getting high, the pressure is lower, right? So even when flying high in the skies, it have to keep the enough pressure inside the cabin, okay? And also it also keeps electronic equipment from overheating, okay? It means, you know, when the electronic equipment, it is run long time, it getting heat, okay? It produce heat. So the air conditioning system is the one who helps to keep the electronic equipments not to become heat. All right. So now in the controls in the cockpit for the pilots is important for the pilots. So pilots use special panels to control the air conditioning system. They have so many panels. Okay. So air conditioning panel, they have a special air conditioning panel control the main function of the system, and the bleed air and pressurization panel. So manage the air pressure inside the cabin. Okay. Bleed air and pressurization panel. This panel manage the air pressure inside the cabin. And cargo temperature panel sets the temperature in the cargo area. And the sidewall panels control heaters for the pilot's feet and shoulder. Okay, sidewall panels, why we use this one? Control heater for the pilot's feet and shoulders. Okay, so these panels help the pilot keep the environment safe and comfortable in both the cockpit and the cargo area. All right, so now let's go to the controls in the passenger cabin. So before we talk about the pilot's cabin and now the passenger cabin, the cabin also has panels to control the air system. So the cabin system control panel, CSCP, the main panel for managing air in the cabin. And the next one, cabin area control panel, CACPs, cabin area control panels control temperature in different zones. Okay, and the galley heat controls manage heat in the kitchen area. Okay, so these panels allow cabin crew to adjust temperature for different part of the plane. So remember, in the cabin passenger area, these controls like CSPA, CSCP, and CACPs, and the galley heat controls mostly controlled by the almost controlled by the cabin crew. Okay, and now the main automatic controllers inside the system. So several computer parts control their system automatically. So first one is cabin temperature control. Cabin temperature controls operates automatically. So these can control airflow, pack cooling, trim air, and the zone temperature. They keep each part of the cabin at the right temperature. And the air supply cabin pressure controls, ASCPCs, and these manage how much airflow in and make sure the air pressure inside is safe. They also act as backups if the CTS stop working. It means cabin's temperature control is stopped working, then air supply cabin pressure controllers work it. Okay, it is like a backup for CTS or CTCs. Okay, all right. And next one, environmental control system miscellaneous cards. Okay, environmental control system miscellaneous cards, ECSMCs. So this helps move air around the cabin. This helps to move air around the cabin, cool the equipment, and heat the cargo area. And next one, equipment cooling controllers, ECCS. These run fans. Equipment cooling controls. Equipment cooling controllers, these run fans and valves that cool the equipment inside the plane. All right. Okay, so now the working together with other systems. All these parts work together with, okay, like AIMS, is the airplane's information system. Okay, the other, like the I told you the before systems, they all work together with the airplane's information system, and the ELMS, the electrical load management system, and APU controllers, a small engine that provides power when the main engine of these are called the APU. Okay, APU controls. So together they make sure that the airplanes stay safe, comfortable, and fully controlled during the whole flight. All right, you can see this is like controllers, air conditioning controlling panel is this one. You can see equipment cooling, and this one, okay, recycle fans. Yeah, you can see flight deck temperature. You can arrange the temperature over here, and cabin temperature you can arrange from here. Air conditioning reset button. Okay, you can see left pack and right hand pack. Pack means the air conditioning under the belly area, right? Okay, and okay, there's a trim air. And the pressurization, for the pressurization they have another panel, this one forward, outflow valve, and aft. Okay, you can see pull on, decrease or increase. and open or close manual, this one. All right, so now the bleed air pressurization panel is here, cargo temperature select panel. Okay, this is the bleed gas pressurization panel, and this one is cargo temperature select panel. All right, you can see the sidewall panel over there and attendance switch panel. Okay, galley panels, forward cargo panel. Okay, these are just like a diagram. All right, so all this one and AIMS, ELMS. Okay, like cabin temperature screen, APU controllers, all connected with this one. And this is the system having 6 to 9 buses. We'll talk about this one later. And from this one, they will provide the pack flow, right? Main flight temperature, trim air, and zone temperature, recirculation air. All right, cabin temperature controllers, right? You can see the pack flow, yeah, pack flow and pack flow on and off. Okay, all right, you can stop this one and you can go this picture, right? All right, next go to the flight deck controllers. Yeah, pilots can control the airplane air conditioning system from the flight deck cockpit. Different panels helps manage the temperature, airflow, equipment, cooling, and pressurization. Okay, right. So now the first one, main control panels in the flight deck. There are three main panels, the flight crews. They have three main panels for the flight crews. First one is air conditioning panel found on the P5 overhead panel. Okay, P5 overhead panel. I remember the previous section, 80 chapter 0 to 20, I discussed about the panels. Okay, how you can watch this video. Air conditioner panel found on P5 overhead panel, and bleed air pressurization panel also on the P5 overhead panel, and cargo temperature select panel located on the P61 overhead maintenance panel. So cargo temperature selected panel, this panel lets pilots control the temperature in the cargo area. It includes aft cargo temperature selector, controls the rear cargo area, and the bulk cargo temperature sensor controls the smaller section inside the cargo area. An air conditioning panel, it's in the P5 panel overhead, right? So this panel, yeah, okay. Uh, yeah, the air conditioning panel, right? These panels gives controls over airflow, temperature, and cooling fans. Okay, so it includes like yeah, equipment's cooling switch. It turns cooling for the electronics on and off, and Gasper switch, and controls small air vents for the passengers, and upper and lower recirculation fan switches. Reuses air cabin air to save energy. Okay, recirculation fan switches, why we use this one, reuse cabin air to save energy, right? So flight deck temperature control, adjust temperature in the cockpit, and cabin temperature control, adjust temperature for the passenger cabin, and the air conditioning reset switch used to reset the system if there's a fault, and left and right pack switches turn on off the system that brings in fresh conditioning air, and left and right trim air switches helps fine tune temperature in zones. All right, so now the side walls panels, these are small heater controls on the side panel near the pilots. So captain's foot heater selector, left side panel is situated in the left side panel, and captain's shoulder heater control is left side panel. Left side panel. All right, the first officer's foot heater selection, right side panel, and the first officer's shoulder heater controls in the right side panel. Okay, right. So these controls keep the pilots warm and comfortable. All right, so now the bleed air and pressurization panel is situated in the P5 panel. This panel helps control the air and pressure inside the airplane. So it includes right forward and aft outflow valve auto switches. It included forward and aft outflow valve auto switches automatically control how much air leaves the cabin, and forward and aft outflow valve manual switches also there. So use if automatic controls fails, manual, why we use manual. If automatic is fail, we can use the manual. And landing altitude selector, set the landing airport altitude so the system can adjust pressure correct. All right, you can see the picture, right? This is the left side wall panel P30 heaters. Okay, you can see shoulder or the foot for the pilot, and this one right side wall panel P14, and this is the bleed air pressurization panel P5 panel. Okay, situated in the overhead, you can see. And this one, what, the air conditioning panel P5. All right, same. And the miscellaneous switches panel P5, Ford cargo AC, and the cargo temperature select panel P61 is also situated here. All right, okay. Now let's go to the controllers. The airplane use special controllers to manage air conditioning. All right, they have special controllers to manage air conditioning. These are found in the main equipment center. These are found in the main equipment center and work automatically to keep the plane comfortable and safe. So the main controllers are CTCs, cabin temperature controllers. All right, cabin temperature controllers control temperature in the cockpit and cabin. And next, ASCPCs, air supply cabin pressure controllers. Air supply cabin pressure controllers. What they do? What this one is do? Like manage airflow and cabin pressure. And ECCs, equipment cooling controllers. They control fans to keep electronic equipment cool. Okay, you can see this one, main equipment center. Looking from the aft, you can see this one. What is this one? Right cabin temperature control, CTC, and this one, right air supply cabin pressure control, ASCPC over there. And this one for the even shelf, left cabin temperature. This one left and right. Okay, and this one P300 panel here, and right ECC, right equipment cooling controllers here. The left equipment control cooling controllers. All right. Okay. Now the ECS miscellaneous card introduction. ECS miscellaneous card means environmental control system miscellaneous cards. Okay, what are the ECS miscellaneous cards? Let's see. The environmental control system miscellaneous card like ECS, MCS are small computers that help control and monitor important part of the airplane's air system. Okay, what are small computers that help control and monitor important parts of the airplane's air system? They make sure things work properly and check for problems. So what they do, the controls, right? Equipment cooling, they keep the airplane's machines and electronics from getting too hot. And air distributions move air to the right places inside the cabin. And supplemental heating provide extra heat when needed. And cargo heating keeps the cargo area warm so temperature sensitive goods stay safe. So where are they? Now there are two environmental control system miscellaneous cards, one for the left side and one for the right side of the system. So both are stored inside the main equipment center. These both situated inside the main equipment center in special slot called card files. All right. So how they connect? Each card connect to its system using special communication lines called ARINC 629. Okay, ECS miscellaneous card connected to the systems through ARINC 629 buses, which let the card send and receive information. So the left and right cards are interchangeable, meaning you can swap them if needed. It means the left side ECS and the right side ECS miscellaneous card, we can swap it. All right. So engineers use a tool called MAT. Engineers use a tool called MAT to install new software updaters on the cards. Each card file has a switch to help control or reset the card if necessary. All right. Okay, these are the ECS miscellaneous card introductions, air conditioning. Okay, you can see the you can see the P85 system card file here. Okay, when you see from the forward and main equipment center, this is the main equipment center, and this is the system card. Okay, power control switches over there. All right, this is the system card, and this is the P84 right system card. Okay, right. This is the left ECS miscellaneous card. Left ECS miscellaneous cards over there, A14. All right. This is the right ECS miscellaneous cards. We will talk about this one later. All right. Under 80 chapter 24. Right. Electricals. All right. So now the ECS miscellaneous cards general description. All right. So the ECS miscellaneous cards, how they work. Right. When the airplane power up, there are two ECS miscellaneous cards inside the main equipment center. One is on the right side and one on the left side, as we discussed before. So at first, the right ECSMC act as the primary. At first, the right one act as the primary controller. The left ECMC act as a backup control. Remember, when the aircraft starts, right side one is the is like a primary controller, act as a primary controller, and the left one act as a backup control. When the airplane change from ground to air, or air to ground, the primary and backup roles switch. Okay, primary and backup roles switches. Just remember, what does the primary card control? Right, the card that is primary controls and shows informations for many important systems, right, including equipment cooling, right? Equipment cooling. This also includes the ground crew coal hole and backup cooling for the SATCOM, and the ventilations for lavatories and galleys, kitchen areas, and the ventilations for the bulk cargo areas, and ventilations for the Gasper, small adjustable vent above the seat, and the supplemental heating for door areas on the left and right sides, and the supplemental heating for the forward and aft galleys areas, and supplemental heating for the captain and first officer. Okay, these are the things they control. Okay, the primary one, right? Okay, yeah. Okay, right. Yeah. So now what does each card control separately? What does each card control separately? Like the left environmental control system, miscellaneous cards control the aft cargo heating system. Remember, left one control the aft cargo system and also monitors air pressure and flow in the part of the equipment cooling system. And the right ECS-MC control the bulk cargo heating system and also monitors air pressure and flow in part of the equipment control cooling system. All right. Okay, so you can see left ECMCs and this one right ECMCs, this one primary and this one backup. Okay, so F cargo heating, they monitor F cargo heating, and both they control equipment cooling system, lavatory galley vent fans, bulk cargo vent fans, supplemental heating, Gasper fans, right? So the bulk cargo system isolated control indication, right? You can see the primary and backup control indications, and this one isolated control indications. From number one, we can say at card 5's power up, the right card is primary and the left card is backup. Every air ground transition changes the primary backup configurations. Just remember it. Right. So now the airflow general description. Now the airflow general description. The airplane's air conditioning system controls how fresh air moves inside the plane. It keeps the air clean and at the right temperature so everyone's on board feels comfortable and safe. So the main part of airflow control, there are several important parts that manage the air. All right. So the first one is pack flow control. So this controls how much fresh air comes into the airplane. It uses sensors and valves to adjust airflow depending on how many people are on board and what the airplanes need. Okay. And now let's go to the pack cooling and mix manifold control, temperature control. Let's say this part cools the fresh air before it moves through the airplane's air system. It also removes water from the air so it doesn't get too humid inside the plane. Remember, right? So this is the one they control the humidity also. Now the zone temperature control, it helps keep different areas, zones of the airplane like the cockpit and passenger cabin at the right temperature. And the recirculation, some of the cabin air is recycled to save energy and improve ventilation. And Gasper air, these are the small air vents above passenger seats that let people adjust their flow to their preference. That is called the Gasper air. And the air distribution, this system sends the fresh and cool air to different part of the cabin. All right. Now, how airflow works? How airflow works, right? The flow control decides the amount of fresh air needed for the crew and passenger to breathe and keep the cabin pressurized. It also controls when the air should go through an ozone converter, remember ozone converter, to remove harmful ozone, especially when flying high above 26,000 feet. So when the plane is flying at lower altitudes, like below 24,000 feet, the air skips the ozone converter. Remember, when the aircraft is flying more than 24,000 feet, the air must go through the ozone converter. Actually, they put the ozone converter because of previous incidents. I don't remember. It's one teach you in the, like I remember is teach in the module 9, right? Human factors, I remember. All right. So that's why they put the ozone converter. So when the aircraft is flying below 24,000, the air is do not need to go through the ozone converter. All right. So converter, right? So during certain times like takeoff, the system may reduce fresh air flow to make sure other important systems get enough air from the engine. So now the cooling the air, the airplane has two main air coolers called packs, right? We will talk about this one later. Packs, one for the left side and one for the right. On the left pack mainly controls the air temperature for the cockpit. Left pack mainly control the air temperature for the cockpit, flight deck to keep pilots comfortable. And the right pack cools the air for the rest of the cabin, called the mixed manifold. All right. Okay, this is the general description airflow. Okay, you can see the passenger zones, right? Flight deck here, A, B, C, D, is these are the passenger zones, and this one recirculation fans. Okay, this is the recirculation fans, and this is the trim air pressure regulating and shut off valve here. Okay, this is the zone trim air modulating valves here, and this is the manifold. Okay, these are the air, right? Attendance seat area, right? Ground air connector here. All right, so temperature sensors, these are the signs for the temperature sensor, filter, airflow sensor, right? These have a airflow sensor, the pneumatic system. From the pneumatic system, air is coming. And these are the flow control and shut-off valves. They have there. Let's go to the left pack and then come here, mix manifold and distributions. And this one come from the right pack, all right? Okay, these are the one, and this is the temperature air pressure sensor. All right, okay, you can pause the video and you can just go through this diagram. Okay, just get an idea. Now, the sound temperature control. This part of the air conditioning systems helps make the air warmer and cooler in different part of the airplane, called zones. For example, the flight deck where the pilot sit is one zone and the passenger cabin is divided into 6 zones. All right. So the system use valves and sensors to control how much warm air, cold trim air is added to the cooler air coming from the air conditioners. So where these valves open or close to adjust the right amount of heat to each zone. Right. So pressure sensors make sure the warm air is at the right pressure, so safe and comfortable heating. And temperature sensors measure the air temperature in each zone, so the system knows how much heat is added. Okay. And now the recirculation. To save energy, the system recycles about half of the cabin air. Remember, half of the cabin air they recirculate. Okay. Why? To save the energy, instead of always using all fresh outside air. So the recycled air is cleaned by special fans and filters. Remember, the recycled air also they clean and they filter before it goes back into the cabin. This helps keep the air fresh while using less energy. And the Gasper air above each passenger seat, there are small air vents called Gasper outlets. Okay, we can adjust it. These vents blow extra air so passengers can control how much airflow they get. A small Gasper fan pushes the conditions air through ducts to these vents. All right. Okay, so the air distribution, this part moves the cool or heated air through the airplanes to all the zones. It uses the ground air connector to bring air when the airplane is parked on the ground, and the mixed manifolds when the fresh and recycled air mix together before being sent to the cabin, and the ducts and risers to carry air to every part of the plane. Okay, these are the ducts and risers, and this is the mixed manifold, and this one come from the pneumatic system. You can see the pneumatic system, the hot air coming and come here, trim air pressure regulating shut-off valve, and it is go to the distribution section. And this one, the recirculation air comes to the mixed manifold, and again they recirculate it through the filters and the sensors, and then they again distribute. Okay, right, this is the system, right? Okay, this is the mechanical system, you just go through it. And now let's go to the cooling. Yeah, cooling. Yeah, the cooling under cooling introductions, the cooling system. Explain. Okay, let's see. The airplane's cooling system helps cool down the hot air that comes from engines before it enters the cabin. Okay, that is the basic way. This system has two important parts. What? The pack flow controls. The first one, pack flow control, and second one, pack cooling and mixed manifold temperature control. Let's see the pack flow control. This part controls how air moves through the cooling packs. It has three major jobs. The first job is turning the pack on and off. Turning the pack on and off. It controls how the air conditioning pack start and stop smoothly without sudden changes. Ozone control bypass. When the airplane flying high, the system decides if the air needs to pass through an ozone remover to clean harmful ozone from the air. And controlling airflow, it regulates the amount of air coming into the airplane to make sure there is enough fresh air for passengers and crew. All right. Okay, next one, the pack cooling and mixed manifold temperature controls. The airplane has two cooling packs that make the air cooler by removing heat from the hot air coming from the engines. So the mixed manifold is where the cool air is mixed and sent to different part of the airplane. And the system adjusts the temperature of the mixed air to match the needs of different zones inside the plane, like the cockpit and passenger cabin. This helps everyone's comfortable, right? Okay, this is the aircraft. You can see the cooling system. The pneumatic systems come from the left side, then the right side. Let's go to the left pack control. This one go to the right pack control, and then the left pack control and mixed manifold control. And this is the right pack control and mixed manifold control. And then go to the distribution. They distribute the aircraft. And this the left temperature control here and the right temperature control. Just remember it. Now the control general description. Cooling system control. The airplane's cooling system is managed by two main controllers. First one is cabin temperature control. Second one is air cabin pressure controls. We discussed earlier, right? So the cabin temperature controls controllers. Let's see, the cabin temperature controllers control how much air flows into the air conditioning packs, which cool the air. Then they also control the temperature of the cool air before it goes to the cabin. And each cabin temperature control has two control channels. So if one fails, the other keeps working to ensure safety. Okay. And when the airplane auxiliary power unit APU is off, the cabin temperature controls flows airflow instructions from the ASCPCs. Okay. It means air supply cabin pressure controllers. And if the APU is running and supplying air, the cabin temperature controllers tell us how much air they need and control the packs directly. Now let's go to the air supply cabin pressure controllers. So air supply cabin pressure controllers decide how much air the cabin temperature controllers should use by creating an airflow plan called a flow schedule. And they also control the engine's bleed air system, which provides air from the engines to packs. And then the left air supply cabin pressure control is the main controller. Left one, if the left one is main controller and the right is act as a backup. And the air supply cabin pressure controllers can close valves to stop airflow if needed, protect the system during certain conditions. And if the cabin temperature controllers lose power, the air supply cabin pressure controllers take over to keep air flowing and maintain cabin pressure. But temperature control won't be a precise. Okay, so when the takeover, if the cabin pressure controller is have some issue, then air supply cabin pressure controller will take over. But they don't have a air supply as precise as cabin pressure control. So air supply cabin pressure controllers can adjust engine's bleed air temperature to keep the system running safely. Now let's go to the electrical power. So the cabin temperature controllers get their power from the airplane's main electrical system. Okay, cabin pressure temperature controllers get the power from the main electrical system and need full power to operate. They can't work only on battery. This one cannot work only in battery or standby power. This one need the full power, right? So the air supply cabin pressure controllers can run on battery or standby power if needed. Remember, cabin temperature controllers cannot run by battery or backup electrical power. It needs full power. But air supply cabin pressure controller can run on battery or standby power if needed, making them more flexible or emergency. So in emergency, air supply cabin pressure controller can work, right? Yeah, so this is the way, right? I told you they use Daring 69 buses, right? Okay, so you can just go through this one. I don't want to talk, right? Okay, we will talk about this one later, right? And now let's go to the interfaces. So the cooling system interfaces, the cabin temperature controllers. Cooling system interfaces. Let's see, the cabin temperature controllers works by communicating with many other systems and sensors in the airplane. This communications helps the CTS control the cooling system properly and keep the cabin comfortable. Let's see the system connected to the cabin temperature controls. The cabin temperature controls uses special communication systems called Arrange 629 buses to talk to these important airplane system. Okay, let's see air conditioning panel. Let's pilots control and see the air conditioning pack settings. And power panels control part like the economy cooling valve to help save energy. And proximity sensor electronic units, PACU, tells if the airplane is on the ground or in the air. And environmental control system cards watch or overheating the fans and other parts. And air supply cabin pressure controllers share airflow plans and help fix airflow problems. And auxiliary power unit controllers gives information about the APU and how much air in the packs needed. And the airplane information management systems provides data for display and maintenance checks. And air data initial reference unit provides airplane altitude information. All right. Yeah, so now what's the cabin temperature control. The cabin temperature control sends signal to control parts that manage airflow and temperature, such as valves that control how much airflow into the cabin. Okay, so CTS control the valves, okay, that control how much air flows into the cabin, and the doors that let outside air in, and the valves that adjust air temperature by controlling the airflow. And now what data this cabin temperature control receive. So the cabin temperature controllers get information from many sensors around the airplane, including sensors that make sure how much air is flowing, and the sensors that check the positions of the valves and doors, and the temperature sensors placed at different points to monitor air temperature, and the sensors that measure the temperature of mixed air after fresh and recirculated air combine. All right. Okay, so you can see the cooling interfaces. All right, you can see this one ADRO, AMS cabinet, APU controller, ASCPS. and the ECM semisis and PSEU and power panels. Okay, you can see the pack of lights, pack on off control, reset. This is the air conditioning panel P5 and miscellaneous switching panel. This one left, CTC, cabin temperature control. Okay, this one is coming, and then okay, left and right. Okay, right. So not left system shown, right system similar. This is the left system, and same like this the right system. Okay, yeah, you can just go through it. All right. Okay, that is the end of this lesson. I think you got an good knowledge about air conditioning, as this is the introduction part 1. This one have a long, very long lesson system, maybe part 10. Okay, right. So I will do this one every week. I will try my best to do this one. I'm still on recovery by the ACL and meniscus surgery. So actually it's a little bit hurt. So maybe it will be okay after 1 or 2 months, right? Because I'm still on light duty in my job. So I have to recover this one to work like aircraft mechanic. Okay, all right. So that is the end of the lesson. If you still not subscribed Aviation Engineering YouTube channel, please subscribe this channel, and please share these videos with your friends who really needs to learn about Boeing 777. Okay, and also the one more thing, if you want to do the type training, please go through the approved training organization. Then you can learn Boeing 777. And also first you take your EASA license, and then you can, or any other license in your national authority, and then you can learn this type rating through approved company, and then you can get your type rated endorsed in your license. And these videos I'm doing to help you, like example, if you live see these videos, and it will be helpful for your mind to get understand and also get remember. All right, so that's why I'm doing this one. And again, thank you very much for participating in these lessons, and thank you very much subscribe my channel. So many people now engaging aviation engineering. That's all, and see you on next lesson. Have a good day for all of you.